I think the best way to deal with stress is to understand it first. And the best way to understand stress is to see it as a difference between capabilities and demands. And through this dynamic, of course, we lost a lot of our capabilities. We lost a lot of joy, pleasure, freedom. So the best way to deal with the stress is to increase our capabilities and reduce our demands. So that bring the demands down and the capabilities up. So my best advice for that is to find ways to get some joy and pleasure and fun in your life, new ones, things that we lost before. We can introduce new pleasures, maybe reading, maybe some exercises, walking, joining groups, dancing, learning a new hobby, anything that will enhance your life and give you some joy and pleasure will help you a great deal with the stress of this horrible period, very challenging. The demands mainly, I'm sure that is about accepting that what's happening. The more that you see it as something horrible happening and why me, or it's about accepting this is real and this is happening. And once you accept that, it's just like a grieving process. In the grieving process, you go through anger, denial, shock, and being unhappy, and all these things. The sooner you get to acceptance, the sooner you can get on with life. So my advice is to move forward and quickly to accept what's happening, and the sooner you get there, the sooner you're going to survive this period, and everything will be absolutely fine. You know that is temporary anyway, so it's going to be off. The reality that we are, when we say stuck at home, even the language that we use can affect the way we think, and the way you think will affect the way you feel. We are really not stuck in the first place. We should not feel that we are stuck at home, because you are free to go out for exercises, you go shopping, you go to your doctors, and if you have important work to do, you can go out to work. So we are not really stuck. And I think that's your first step is to start to talk about what's happening in a different way, because the language will affect the way you think. Apart from that, of course, whenever you can create some sort of routine and structure for your life, the sooner you're going to feel better and happier. When you wake up, you have structure. You just decide on your own structure, what time you want to wake up. You want to build some exercises, some relaxation, some meditation, going out for walks, speaking to friends, connecting with families if you are away from family, doing some work. And it's all about how to create a structure, daily structure, that include some variety of demands as well as variety of capabilities. Anxiety is a very normal feeling, especially when at times of uncertainties. And of course, the time we are going through is full of uncertainties. So you are not alone. This is very, very normal feeling. Of course, we don't want to feel anxious throughout the day, but I think it's important that we accept sometimes whether feeling of anxiety or feeling a bit down from time to time. And by saying to yourself that, of course, I feel down, this is a very difficult time, and that's okay. To accept that feeling that come and go will make it much easier. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it all depends on the frequency of anxiety, what sort of negative thoughts you might have in your unconscious mind. Whenever you feel anxious, the best way to deal with it is to start learning like almost like a process, like a structure, a strategy how to deal with anxiety. And your first step in this strategy is to take a few deep breaths from your diaphragm, and then and you might want to say, all is well, I'm okay, everything is okay. Just a few deep breaths. That's your first reaction. Could be every time you feel sense of anxiety. The second step is to see where that's coming from. Is it a thought that's coming into your mind, and so what you say, you face these thoughts by saying them out loud or writing them. It's up to you if that's easier. And you look at, because once you say it out loud or you write it, it becomes obvious to the adult in you, the conscious mind, whether this thought is irrational, illogical, doesn't mean anything, or is it something that is real and you want to do something about it. Either way, the adult will be present, your conscious will be present, and you'll see that it is not as scary as your unconscious mind, your mind can make it. However, sometimes you might not have a thought. You just become anxious. By accepting it, by keep on like for 2 minutes, taking deep breaths. And the next step is to distract yourself. So get up, make yourself a cup of tea, call a friend, have a chat, switch on TV, do something to distract yourself. And once you do that, that feeling will just pass. You know that's the most important thing, that with anxiety is to believe, and it becomes true, that anxious feeling will always pass, and it's not harmful, it's not going to harm you, it will just pass.